Tom from Into the Woods here, and I'm with one of our main acts of the last few years, the man, the myth, the Welsh wizard, legend of Cardiff, Lucas Alexander. Thank you for joining me today, mate.
No worries, mate. No worries.
Yeah, absolute pleasure to sit down with him again. We spoke a few years back, albeit in a bedroom during, well, just before the pandemic it was.
Yeah.
And a lot's changed since then, so I'm buzzing to hear your updates, mate, and everything you've got going on. So I'm going to kick off with a question around your background in the industry, how you got started in music, and then I'm keen to know your next steps, mate.
Yep. I started doing school discos like when I was in, I think I must have been in like year 8 or year 9, and then I was doing the sixth form party, so I was a DJ for the sixth form party, and then just from there I just started doing, anytime someone was having a party in school I'd be the DJ basically. So I just started from school and then just moved on from there, progressed from there.
Mad, you started at the age of like 8 or 9. Legends like Ronnie O'Sullivan started at that age, so could go down as the greatest around this area. Sick, mate. So you started DJing around primary school, high school days?
Yeah, I think it was like year 7, so it's not like 12, 13, something like that.
Mental. And how did it then progress as you were getting older?
As I got older, I just met more people in the industry. I started making music and stuff got played on radio. And then from there, people just started asking like who I was and if I wanted to play in clubs, but I wasn't old enough to play in any clubs yet. So I think I played in my first club when I was like 16. So we got there before the bouncers were there, went in and played, and then came out.
And that was around Cardiff?
Yeah, that was in Cardiff.
Yeah. What club was that then?
What's it called now? I'm not sure what it's called now, but it was called Zeus. Then
Zeus.
Prism, I think it is now.
Shout out to the day oneers who were at Zeus, who follow this man to his peak now. And I say peak because I think it was only a few weeks back, this man was supporting Fatboy Slim at the International Arena in Cardiff. Unbelievable news when I first saw that, and it just goes to show how far he's come in the industry. And on that, I wanted to talk a bit about your early days in the industry. I remember Ross, my colleague, a co-founder of the festival, fuck's sake, I always say that word.
I think we're going to say partner.
This is my day job coming into the festival job. Ross actually was saying about how you taught him, you gave him his first club gig, is that right?
Yeah.
So what was that event back in the day?
That was Mikasa, that was. So I was a resident DJ in one of the clubs in town, and I started playing, like house stuff, deep house stuff, like in the last hour of the event, because it was like more commercial throughout the night. And then on the last hour I started noticing it was the same people for the last hour every time. So I was just like, well, can I play this all night? And they were like, no. So I said, I'll just do my own night, and then we'll just play like the deep house and the more like underground house stuff there. So I started a night called Mikasa from there, sold out the first one straight away, sold out the next one, and then just went from there really. And then Ross was coming to the events, and I think we went to an after party, and Parsec and Ross were DJing. So from there I was just like, these guys are cool, do you want to come down and play at the event? And they came, played, smashed it, and then just made them residents, and then just been working together ever since really.
Yeah. And that was when, were you at university at that time?
No, I wasn't at uni, I was just putting the parties on.
Mad. So, Ross was at uni at that time, and Mikasa sticks in my mind because when we first launched Discotheque, Mikasa was the brand affiliation that Ross came with, and he brought with him the whole Cardiff kind of scene and community. And at that time, Shangri-La was, I guess, kind of taken over into the force that it is today. And you've always been close to Shangri-La, playing pretty much consistently the whole time. And that takes me to a recent gig you had in the Castle with Fisher. Supporting him. Nuts. Are there any other Shangri-La stories that you can explain what a highlight's been?
I think last year's when they put on Pete Tong and orchestra in the Castle. So I played just before they came on. So it was unbelievable, man. It was just so everything was set up, so they got like 100-piece orchestra all set up, and I'm just standing in the middle DJing. So it was cool, man. And my family came to that gig and that, so it was really cool.
I think I remember seeing on your socials.
It's good because we're from the stage, we can literally see like the Millennium Stadium. Obviously, you're in the Castle, and then you can just see like all the main parts of town, and then you can really see like where my mum's house where I started. DJing for
scale of it, like,
yeah, it's
scale.
crazy now. And obviously there's like 8,500 people stood in front of you as well, so yeah, it's good, man.
So you played directly before Pete Tong come on.
Yeah.
Not a bad
slot to be in.
Yeah, you're doing some bits, mate. And what are the next steps looking like for you? You've recently launched Rare Bits Records, and you've got your own event coming up in August, which is about to sell out. I'm trying to get down, so I need to act now. Is there any other plans this summer? What other events are you?
I think that 12th of August event is my main one, because it's my first one that I've just done. I haven't put out a lineup or anything yet. We are going to put like other DJs on and stuff, but I just wanted to put on a party myself as the headliner and just basically see, invite all my friends and everyone that's been following me for all these years, and just bring everyone together to have one big party, and just like play the music I want to play, and like just really look at the lineup and put on DJs I look up to or I like to listen to, instead of just trying to put loads of big names and sell it out as quick as possible. I thought I'd try and do it like this, and it'd be more of like an intimate gig with people who really appreciate like my music and the music I love. Yeah,
community type, more of that type of thing, rather than come out with a big name and hope that people come to you.
That's the thing. So it's rather than just trying to sell out and just trying to make a load of money, I just want to do reasonably priced tickets for people to just come down and have more of a party than just to make money, basically.
That's it. And it's on a rooftop, so it's not a bad
that's
venue
what I mean.
to be doing it like.
It'd be unbelievable.
I've never been there, mate, but I've seen loads of acts there. And I think you're the most exciting one that I've seen for a little while. So
it should be good, man. I can't believe how well received it's been, like how quick it's selling. So I'm looking forward to just seeing everybody in one place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sick. Cool. So that's your next steps. I'm going to wind the clock back a bit, because I'm curious to know how your taste in music's developed, how you started making the type of music you make. I've heard you making garage more recently, how things have changed through the years. You mentioned Deep House was what you were playing at the start. Can you describe that journey you've been through?
Well, it was just like, it wasn't really widely accepted, like the Deep House sound and just like the underground sound. It was more like...
What year was that?
I haven't got a clue, man. Terrible dates. So it must have been
early 2010.
Yeah, well, 2012 I think was when things started. When I started to play more houseier stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I first started, I was buying just garage records really, and because my brother was into garage, so I just started buying a load of garage, and then from then developing into the clubs. Like played all garage in clubs for years, and then it was slowly crossing over, and my music style changed a bit. Like just things that the music I was liking was changing, so naturally my sound just changed more towards the parties I was starting to go to and things like that. So it progressed into the deep house stuff, and then still had a bit of garagey, like drums and elements in it, but then I think from there it just got, because I was always going to house events, it just got more housey and housey. Then from that now I seem to be going back to more garagey, but I can always keep in the 4/4 drum, and not really I do play some two-steppy stuff, like the older stuff I got on vinyl, but I like to make 4/4 stuff with a hint of garage in it. So I think that's where the sound's at the minute.
Yeah, man, it's never-ending flow of taste and experiences, and forth, mate. Man. And on our way here to the interview, I was describing that garage track you played last year at the Woods.
Well,
and how it's turned Martin into a garage head somehow, even though he's techno through and through. And you were saying he wouldn't be able to find it because it's a vinyl track, Emma Bunton, edit.
There's like a K Warren he's a big garage DJ back in the day and producer. He had a big hit called Coming Home, and she must have re-recorded that record, and then he must have been asked to remix it as a garage track, and it was on the B side of that, so that's why I ended up buying the vinyl. And recently I started to play it, and everybody seems to love it, so it's definitely a good closer, man.
Yeah, the way it dropped in as well. We've got a clip of it on our socials. It was sick moment, and hopefully many more of those to come. 100%. This festival, which we've got you on the Saturday. I'm pretty sure on the Keep stage this time, so a different kind of vibe and setup, deeper into the woods again this year. And looking ahead to that set, is there a record that would never leave your bag? Is there music that you always associate to, or are you gonna freestyle it?
I literally always just freestyle it and see what's happening, because it just depends. Like, it depends how I feel on the day, because there's so much, collected so much music over the years. You can't really tell until I get there what I fancy playing. Obviously, it's always, you know, quite like housey, a few garage tracks here and there.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that's like a staple in my sets that can't be changed to something that I'm feeling on the day. It depends if the sun's out, if it's not out, you know what I mean, if it's like, you know, depends what vibe's going on. I just end up, everyone always asks what my first track's going to be when I start playing. I literally don't have a clue until I press play. So
you have got a lot of faith in your process, mate, and the folders that you've compiled.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of rules I have, and that's like the first and the last track. Know where I'm starting, know where I'm going, and then somewhere in between it will figure itself out. But
I'll always have tracks that I've been playing like over like the summer or throughout the winter that still stick with me, and I just...
What's your biggest track going into this year's event, do you think? What track are you feeling? Or artists?
I think the Sapnin Boys have made a track called Shake Sonora.
Ah, okay, unreleased.
Unreleased, but it's such a tune, man. I played it in the Castle, and I played it in District for Moxie, and it just pumps, man. It goes off every time. So, and it's been stuck in my head non-stop, because it's like a sample of an old vocal. It's just stuck in my head non-stop. So normally when I'm going to start DJing, it's already in my head, so I'm like, oh, I'll play that, because I'm singing it already before I even get to the decks.
Love it, mate. Yeah. I'm very happy that Sapnin have managed to churn out another one, because that Money track seemed like...
Money's a tune, mate. I've been playing it for so long. It
was a level that they might not get back to again, but they've done it again. As soon
as I heard it, I was like, this is unbelievable. I got to sign that straight away, and then we put it out, and pretty much now every set I go to, people are standing in the crowd singing it at me. And then I'm like, I'm going to have to play it now.
Just like that. All I want is money, money. Money, money, give me some.
I think like in most house events now, you don't really get any requests anymore, but that's fucking solid. And every set someone says, oh, you're going to play Money, Money. So I'm like, oh, I've got to play it now.
Mate. And it went like straight to Beatport #1.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that it's on my own label as well. And it was our second release and our second #1. So.
And they're pretty close to you in terms of like...
Yeah, mate. Legends.
Grown through the years with them, like,
man, proper sound guys.
Two top blokes. Yeah,
definitely.
And how they described the festival last year, like, really made me feel proud, because those are guys that love...
Oh, mate, they're everywhere. They were at every festival. Yeah. They were at Gotwood the other week, and then mate, they're everywhere. They were at the Castle.
Hands down, one of the best weekends of the year. Right, well, let's do it again, mate. Let's do it again. Is my hope.
Yeah, definitely.
So are there any artists at the moment besides the Sapnin lads and your label that you're keeping an eye on? Is there any?
You've got Theos.
Theos,
on the Friday, and we've just been working on a track together, and it's an absolute tune. He came up with an idea, sent me the track. I'd done a bit of some bass bits on it, and then got Fernquest happened to be in the studio, come down to the studio that same day, and I was like, oh mate, what do you think of this? And he's like, oh yeah, I love it. So ended up he put some lyrics down on it now, and it's just taken on another level now.
Jeez.
So just, unbelievable MC. Then Fios is just a ridiculously talented producer, and then I like to think I hold my own on it as well.
you let him work his magic on the keys.
Yeah, that's the thing, mate. That's
you bring the tribal core side of it,
brought the bass and the garage into it, man. And now it's just. I saw a video of him playing it the other day, and he's like, mate, it goes off every set. So I'm going to come down and see him on Friday and see if we can do it live.
On the Friday, the festival, sick, mate. So is that coming out on a label, or is that going to?
We haven't really sent it out yet. No, we've only just finished it like last week. We had like a few different versions flying back and forth, but I think we've nailed it now. Like, so maybe that'll be the first time a lot of people hear it at the Woods. Like, that'd be cool, man.
Buzzing for that, buzzing. Yeah. So we'll hopefully get you there all weekend, mate.
That's the plan, man. That's the plan.
A key part of the festival. Been there for most of the years, I'd say, and represents this bubbling Cardiff scene to a T, man. You're at the pinnacle of it. A couple more questions, if that's all right. Is there a standout moment of your musical journey today? Is there a gig, a release, or a moment?
It keeps on getting more ridiculous every year, really. Every year I'm like, this is never. I always like, it's going to be a tough one to beat, and it just seems the crazy things seem to happen every time, man. Like, I played on a boat party in Ibiza last year, and as the sun was setting, I played Café Del Mar, and I thought, this is like, I've always wanted to, I always associated obviously that track with Ibiza, and I heard it at Space Closing when Darius played it in the car park of Space, And then when I was on the boat, played my first proper gig in Ibiza, I played it. So it's always been like a standout track. So that sticks out in my mind. But then, you know, the first time I played the Castle was ridiculously. I never thought, like, used to go on school trips in primary school at, like, to the Castle and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And then the Fatboy Slim one was just a bit surreal when we were just in the green room backstage, and there's a knock on the door. I opened the door and he was like, "Oh, you right, mate?" And I was just like, "Oh, hello, mate." And then I was with my mum and that, so I got like good, cool pictures with him and my mum, and they had a chat for a while and stuff like that. So like, you never really expect to see your mum and Fatboy Slim having a conversation. Do you know what I mean? So that was like something that's going to stick in for a while.
You stayed in touch with him since?
I've messaged him now and again. Yeah, man, he's cool, man. He's just.
Is he into your stuff?
Well, this is the thing I was saying about. He watched a video about me saying how cool it is now to play a venue like that. And he was saying like, "Oh yeah, I played a venue in Brighton not long ago. I never thought I'd get to play." And it's like, it's cool to see even at his level, he's still playing things that he never thought he'd get to play. So
yeah,
hopefully there's some more of that coming.
And that passion, like there's just an undying passion there. I felt that with the Mark Hill interview. Like he's buzzing to play stuff that the other guys, let's say, will never have access to, because he was the one who set up the Artful Dodger name 20 years back.
I watched a documentary on that a while ago, and it went through all that, and it was him just playing it all, like loads of the guitar stuff in his garden. It's so cool, man. Just saying how he came up with the stuff. So obviously that was when I was growing up. I had every vinyl. Like Artful Dodger, All About the Stragglers album was like I'm non-stop in the CD player. Like,
oh mate, we're gonna have to get you backstage when he's on then Friday night, mate.
End up making a track together.
Yeah, mate, that'd be unbelievable.
I recently done a remix with Todd Edwards as well. So he was like one of the.
Of course, because you released on his label, is it?
No, I'm gonna release on it. It's gonna come out on Defected. So it's one of his back catalogue's getting re-released on Defected. And he has picked like producers that he likes within the scene to remix them. So he picked me to remix one of them, man. So it's like me and Skepta and Jammer.
Hang on, what?
Yeah. So they got a new alias.
So only DC-10 DJs by the sounds of it.
So they got a new alias, Mass Tiempo or something like that is. So they've done a remix of it, and I've done a remix.
Skepta and Jammer together.
Yeah.
I didn't know Jammer was doing mix as well, mate.
Yeah. So they got the label's called Mass Tiempo, so then they've done a remix of Shut the Door It Is by Todd, and then I've done a remix of it, so they all come out together. That's coming out in August as well, man, so that'll be cool. And
that is
some things that you never thought was like I used to copy his mixes. I used to listen to his tapes, go into the record shop in town, buy the same vinyls, and then try and mix the same as how he was mixing. So doing as a DJ, and then now I'm remixing his tracks.
And the amount of time that's passed since then, and the amount of steps that you've taken to get to your point, and where you're at now, is music a full-time thing for you? Are you able to put aside all the other responsibilities and focus on your craft?
Yeah, pretty much at the minute. Like the pandemic was like a big knock because things were going really well, and then obviously everything stopped. So it was like it's been hard graft to even get back to this point now, but things seem to just be taken on another level now. So it's good, man. I'm just hoping to keep building, keep more things coming with the label, with the parties. Just do as much as I can put as much as I can into it, and then just see what I get back.
See about the return,
I'd be a DJ to my what was he called, careers advisor in school.
Did you actually say to him?
Yeah, and he told me he said, but that's a hobby. You want to get a real job. Now I'm playing in there.
Just to recap, Mr. Lucas Alexander will be shelling the Keep stage this year at Into the Woods Festival. Saturday night, peak time, I think taking over from Mr. Mark Wins himself. Thank you so much for speaking to me, mate. I'm buzzing to see you this summer, mate.
I look forward to it, mate. Every year I look forward to it.
Well done on everything you're doing, man. I am always so impressed, especially with how you're managing to grow, like your social presence, your content, like. You nail every step of the process, it seems to me. Like your DJing craft, unbelievable. Your production, fucking sick. Your content is like no one else does it like that.
Yeah, I think all it is I just film whatever I'm doing at the time. Like if I'm like, I'm making this, I'm like, I may as well just get a video of me making this. and then people are like, how do you think of that? It's like, that's literally what I was actually doing at the time. There's no rhyme or reason behind it. It's just if I'm doing something, I'm like, I may as well film this and let people know what I'm doing. And everyone's like, that's crazy. I was like, that's just actually what was happening at the time, So,
tapping that keyboard.
That
one's all right.
So Yeah, it's good, man. It's good because it gets so much interaction. I get to actually speak to people about other things rather than just like, oh yeah, that track, this track. They're actually like, oh, I saw you doing this with your dog the other day. What's your dog's name? Do you know what I mean? So when I go out to play things, I get to speak to people that I might have only spoke online about like random shit over the years, but it's cool, man, because you feel like more part of the community rather than just playing music to people that you're never going to meet.
I think
good,
that can get a little bit lost with social media sometimes. Might feel like a chore, but also it's how like you connect with your friends. If you want to arrange a meet-up, that's how you do it. So if you can make your artist page be more like that, like
exactly,
how can I get to know the people who are enjoying what I'm putting
that's
out?
The best thing about travelling around as well. So if I play in like London, Manchester or something like that, it might be someone I've met when I've played there last time, or someone that's just like commented on a reel or on a picture and stuff like that, and randomly start speaking to them, and then I'm like, oh, I'm in Manchester next week. They're like, oh, we'll come down, and then every time you go to Manchester, then you've got a cool crew of people that you can go and meet every time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's good, man.
Which then gives you that impetus to want to take your event brand outside of Cardiff, and you mentioned that obviously this summer will be the one-off gathering, but then you're looking to maybe go to other cities, which would be sick, mate.
It'd be the work, man. It's just that track, I don't know how, like it was one of my favourite tracks, but I just didn't really do anything with it. I didn't really play it, and then I played it this is quite cool venue actually. It's like Victoria Baths in Manchester. Okay. Like old swimming pools, and it's just in a big, like, it looks unbelievable. It's like a listed building. I played in there, and Darius was like, oh, I'll play a couple more, and I was like, oh, I've never played this track, so I just whacked on Let's Get Jazzy, and it had the best reaction for my whole set.
Of course, that's the name of your event.
Yeah. So then from there I was like, oh, I'm going to release it then. So I released it on my first EP, and then I think it's like number 4 in the minimal chart overall. Like, so I was just like, this is crazy. And then everybody seems to get messages from all over the world about the track. So I was like, if I'm going to do an event, I may as well call it Let's Get Jazzy, because it kind of makes sense, and it's kind of the ethos of the night. Like, you know what I mean?
Love it, man. Love it. I really hope to. I'm going to get my ticket as soon as we stop recording. We're on it. Sick, mate. Sick. Yeah. Thank you again, and look forward to seeing you all at Into the Woods Festival this summer. Thank you for your time again, brother.
No worries, man.
Yeah, loved it.